Hey, Shalom, Shalom. I'm going to start off this video by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops of the great millstone that rule well, teach well, while learning truth 100% according to the Bible. I also want to say Shalom to the elect, the 144,000 men, prophet service, Galilee brought the four corners of the earth. And Shalom to you, Akwaf, which are you few sisters that are sincere, your children, Shalom. And in today's video, as you can see, is going to be building off of this news that you ultimately have taking place at this present moment. And this is actually a live stream that is going on from, as you can see, the guy's channel, NY Prepper. And this is the current news that you ultimately have taking place, right? And as you can see from the title, it says emergency alert, Russian missiles along Polish border, right? And it says Russian drones fly into Poland again. So, you know, these are those wars and rumors of wars, but we know that war is ultimately coming. That's the time and season that we are in, you see. And that's what Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai is getting ready to allow to unleash in these times, man. You see, because as it tells us right here, I'm going to grab this precept. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 3. I'm going to start at verse 1 and I'm going to read on down to verse 8, which is the point. It says, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Verse 2, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. Verse 3, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up. Verse 4, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, right? Verse 5, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace, right? And a time to refrain from embracing, right? Verse 6, a time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away. Verse 7, a time to rend and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak. And this is the point right here. Verse 8, a time to love and a time to hate and a time of war and a time of peace. And that's the time and season that we're ultimately in. In this present time, we're in a time of war, man. And that's ultimately what Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai is about to allow to unleash ultimately in these times that we are in, man. That's what's coming. You see, and that's what we're warning these so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians about. That's why we're telling you to turn back to the Lord, that the doors of mercy are closing, man, because things are about to heat up real soon out here in this place, America, in the world. You see? So we're going to get into this video, right? So bear with me before I even get into the video. We're going to, copyright disclaimer, fair use under the 1976 Copyright Act. I'm not ultimately getting paid for this video. This is only for educational purposes only, So, hey, we're going to get into this video, fair use, right?
What's going on, guys? How's everybody doing? Hope you guys are doing well. We have some very, very concerning breaking news. Looks like we're about to go to World War III. It looks like Russia and NATO are about to go to war. So please make sure you finalize all your preps. Now is the time to do that because all hell is about to break loose. We are literally...
Right. And you hear what it is he's saying, and that's ultimately what the men of the Lord, starting off with the elder apostles and the elder bishops of the great millstone, been warning you Israelites, man. We've been telling you that ultimately things are about to heat up and it's about to get worse out here in this place, America, and the world, as you people know it, that times are about to change for the worse. That's what we're warning you about. And ultimately to be seeking and getting right with Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai while you ultimately have time, man. Because, hey, it's about to get ugly out here, man, real soon, you see. And it's going to come upon you people when you least suspect it, because a lot of you people are not watching. You're not paying attention. You're not being circumspect. For a lot of you jakes out there, you're taking everything, these warnings that the men of the Lord are giving you ultimately for granted. You see, you're not believing that these times that we're telling you about is actually going to come. But, hey, you people are about to see, you see. So I'm actually go to that precept real quick through the spirit, because this is what's coming. Revelation chapter 11, verse 14, it says, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly, man. And we know ultimately that, World War III will not go nuclear. Ultimately to the MOTB CHIP is made mandatory. But if we see things heating up like this, then we know that MOTB, that chip, is right around the corner, man. You see, because ultimately before World War III goes nuclear, that has to be mandated. You see, and we know it's only a matter of time before that comes because everything is already on the books, really, for the CHIP to come. You see, you got the Genius Act that Donald Trump passed earlier on in the year. So, I mean, everything is already set in place for prophecy to play out, you know. So I'm going to get back into this video, right? We're going to listen to what it is he's saying. But a lot of things are happening, you know.
Probably days away from a full-on war between Russia and NATO. Could be any day now, could be tonight, any hour, any day. I told you guys this was going to happen a long time ago. I told you that Russia was going to attack Poland and the Baltics. This is not anything new. A lot of people have been predicting this for years. And it looks like finally it's going to happen during the Trump administration. But what we're witnessing here is, you know, the media is not covering this, but what you're looking at here is video footage coming out of Russia. This is just a few miles from the Polish border, and we literally have Russian missiles in the middle of this highway, multiple Russian Iskander missiles. These are short to medium range ballistic missiles, and they are nuclear tipped. The ones that they have in Kaliningrad do have nuclear warheads, okay? The media doesn't want to tell you that.
Right. And you hear what it is he's saying, right? That those missiles ultimately that, you know, Russia has deployed on the border of Poland, that they're nuclear tipped, you see. And we know ultimately that these ICBM missiles will be used. But we know that the EU and NATO are going to eventually turn their backs on America, which is the whore. You see, Babylon the Great, they're going to turn their backs on this place soon come, you see. So I'm actually grab that precept as well, because like I said, these missiles are going to be used. That's ultimately the reason why Yahweh Bashim Yahushua put these missiles in the earth. He did not put these missiles here in this earth to ultimately to be sent in silos collecting dust. You see, these missiles are going to be used, and we are in that time of season real soon where, hey, these missiles going to be shot off, man. You see, there is going to be a nuclear war that's going to take place, man. You see, that's all prophecy. You see, these things are going to happen, right? That's why, as it tells us right here, I'm going to grab that. This is Malachi, right? Chapter 4, and I'm going to read verse 1, right? It says, "For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven," right? That's talking about the day that the Lord put the spirit on these nations to shoot off these missiles, primarily at America, Babylon the Great. That's where a good majority of those missiles are headed towards, you see. It says, "And all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch." So that's ultimately why you continuously hear these nations, mainly Russia, America, China, North Korea, etc. They're all talking about using nuclear missiles. You see, and you hear them boasting and bragging about them and setting them up and doing military drills with them. They're doing these things because, like I said, we're coming into that day, you see, in the very near future where the Lord is going to allow these weapons to be used, man. Because as we know, these are the weapons of the Lord indignation, right? I'm going to go to a precept just touching on that, right? This is Jeremiah chapter 50, and I'm going to go straight to the point, right? I'm going to go to verse 25, right, in the KJV. It says, "And the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua, have opened his armory and have brought forth the weapons of his indignation. For this is the work of the Lord, power of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans," man, right? So, hey, like I said, those weapons of the Lord indignation are these ICBM missiles, man. And like I said, a good majority of those missiles are going to be shot over here to America in the Third World War. And we're fastly approaching that time, right? So I'm going to actually go to this other video that I got as well. You see, from this other guy that's going into basically the same things that this guy is talking about, you see, about how things are heating up, you see, and how intense things are actually getting, right? So bear with me while I pull up this second video, right? And we're going to read and watch a little bit into this, you know. But hey, war is coming, man. You see, that just is what it is. We are in those times. The Lord is about to allow things to heat up, you see, and ultimately to kick off, man, you know. which is wonderful because that means we're closer, Lord's willing, to being delivered and getting out of here. That's why, as it tells us in Romans 13:11, and now is a high time to wake out of sleep, for our salvation is nearer than we believe. You see, roughly paraphrasing it. But I'm going to get into this video, though.
All right, so a lot of developing news over the last 72 hours. We're going to be discussing World War III threats, U.S. draft concerns, what is going on with Russia, Poland, drone attacks in their airspace, and how the United States has come out and said that they will be directly involved in all the conflict that is about to take place. We're going to be seeing where we go from.
All right, and you hear what it is he just said from the little bit I allowed to play. And as I was just saying a moment ago earlier, we know that the EU and NATO, they're going to hate the whore, man. They're going to turn their back on America. So, hey, we in that time of season where, hey, there's going to be a divide soon come, man, because, hey, we know the Lord is going to allow this to happen. It's prophecy. And I'm actually go to that. All right, Revelation chapter 17, right? In the KJV, and I'm going to start at verse, go on down. I'm going to read verse 16, right? It says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, right? The EU and the NATO nations, right? And they shall hate the whore, which is America, Babylon the Great, spiritually Sodom and Egypt, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. How are they going to do that? Because in the midst of the Third World War, when it really does kick off and it gets intensified to the point it's going to get to where when those missiles are going to be shot off, America's allies are going to turn their back against this place, man. You see, and that's what's ultimately going to happen, man. You see, and it says, verse 17, for Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua have put in their hearts, meaning their minds, to fulfill his will, right? And what is the will of the Lord? To destroy America, man, and that land of Israel over there where those Amalekites are. But we know, unlike, America, the land of Israel, the Holy Land is going to be built back up. But this place, America, is going to be completely wiped out in the Third World War when it comes. Right. And really, we're already in the Third World War. You see, it just ultimately hasn't hit that level yet. And it's not going to hit that level yet to ultimately, as I said a little earlier, to the MOTB comes. You see, there's still prophecies that have to play out before things can really escalate, But it says, for Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua have put in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast until the words of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua shall be fulfilled. You see, so like I said, we are in those times and seasons, man, where things are about to, get worse than what we see happening now. You see, where the Lord is really about to start, speeding up all of the things that are happening in the earth. And we know ultimately the Lord said that he would speed up time. So these prophecies are going to start coming quicker, right? As it tells us right here, I'm going to grab that through the Spirit. Matthew chapter 24, and I'm going to read verse 21. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And those are the times that we are fastly coming into, right? Verse 22. And except those days should be shortened, there shall no flesh be saved. That's how bad it's about to get, right? But for the elect's sake, those days should be shortened. So that's why we're seeing everything speed up the way it is, right? For the elect's sake, Lord's will we be at that number, right? So I'm going to get back into the video and we're going to watch some more of it, all right?
From here, I've got a lot of video footage and articles, so let's just go ahead and dive right in and get you caught up as to what has been going on over the last 72 hours. So the U.S. says that it will defend every inch of NATO territory after Poland shoots down a Russian drone. Now, this happened about 3 days ago. I'm going to get you all the details as more has been developing and get you all the information. Take a look. Poland, coming out today, September the 13th, scrambles jets amid a renewed drone threat in nearby Ukrainian territory. We're hearing they are getting ready right now as we speak. NATO makes a major announcement as they bolster their eastern flank against Russia. This coming out in the last 24 hours. The United States has got a lot to say about this. Rubio calls Russian drones over Poland unacceptable, but they have declined to say whether this was intentional or not. Now, Donald Trump issues an ultimatum for NATO countries on Russian sanctions. This coming out in the last 27 minutes today, September the 13th, 2025. We got new developing news coming out from Donald Trump on the conflict. And take a look at this. Washington and Beijing step up war preparation threats for World War III. Now, I see the date on it says September 22nd, 2025. That is not correct. We are still not 9 days away from the 22nd. I believe that's supposed to be September 12th. This article has come out in the last 24 hours. And take a look at this. World War III fear is real. What will happen if Russia-Poland conflict activates NATO Article 4 and 5? Drop it in the comments if you know what it is. You can see it here in the first line of this article. World War III, Articles 4 and 5. If one nation in NATO goes to war, we're going to be seeing some of the other ones all piling in. And as I mentioned, we've heard the United States getting in on the rhetoric as well as a part of NATO. Drop WW3 if you think that is the direction we're going to be going. Now,
Right. And I'm actually finished letting him speak, right?
if not, put peace. Let me know your thoughts. But take a look at this. This coming out just recently as well. If World War III erupts, these are the first U.S. citizens who will get drafted.
Right. And you hear what it is he's saying. And ultimately, we're not going to be ignorant of Satan's devices, because we remember before Joe Biden actually got out of the White House last year, he actually put it into law that, anybody from the ages of 18, I believe, to like 26, you see, could be drafted off if there is a war. And you see, they know that there is ultimately going to be a war. That's why they put that draft into place. So a lot of you YNs and a lot of you so-called wannabe tough women out there that think you're man, a lot of you about to be drafted off to go fight in this war, man, when things really heat up. That's what the Lord going to ultimately bring upon a lot of you people. That's going to be your judgment, going over there to the valley of Jehoshaphat and getting slaughtered. You see, because that's ultimately what's coming. You see, and I'm going to grab that. Right. This is Revelations, right? Chapter 16, because this is what everything is building up to, And I'm going to go down to verse 16. It said, and he gathered them. Who's gathering them? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, because ultimately this third world's war that is going to happen is all prophetic. It's all part of prophecy, right? And he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon, which is Armageddon, right? Which goes into a mountain of troops, you see. And that's going to be all of these nations and their militaries ultimately getting dragged down there over there to what they call today the so-called Middle East, you see, to fight in the Third World's War, man. You see, that's what's going to happen. And that's what's coming. That's what's going to stem out of all of this stuff that we see happening, right? As it tells us in Joel, right? Let me grab that. Chapter 3. And I'm going to just read verse 2. It says, I will also gather all nations, right, and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, right, which is the Heavenly Father's judgment, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land, you see. So this is ultimately what everything is going to lead up towards, you see, and this is what's coming. And in this war that's happening, which is going to be the war of all wars, guess what? America is going to meet its fate, man. You see, this place, Babylon the Great, is going to be wiped off the map, man. You see, the Lord is going to ultimately allow this war to take place to judge these heathen nations, man. Primarily Esau, Edom, you see. So, I'm going to grab this precept as well, because like I said, this is what's coming, man. You see. And matter of fact, I'm going to go to that precept too, because like I said, the Third World War will be a nuclear war. It's not going to be like how old ancient wars were fought back then. This is going to be a different type of warfare that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is going to allow to unleash, right? This is Isaiah chapter 9. And I'm going to start at verse 5. It says, for every battle of the warriors with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. Those are how the ancient battles were fought, right? With swords, being close quarters and face-to-face combat, right? And it says, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. And what is that going to be ultimately? That's going to be those ICBM missiles that a lot of these countries are in possession of. Russia, China, America. You see, it tells us in, let me grab that Isaiah, right? Bear with me. Because this is ultimately what's coming, right? Real soon. So this is Isaiah chapter 24. And I'm going to start at verse 19. It says, the earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean, dissolved. The earth is moved exceedingly. And how is that going to happen? During the Third World War, man. Right? When those missiles are shot off from east to west, man. From west to east. You see, back and forwards, man. You see? Verse 20, the earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again, man. You see? So like I said, hey, that's what's coming. Verse 21, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, shall punish the host of the high ones, you devils, you Edomites, that are on high, right? The elite banking families, those that are in rulership, the wicked, and the kings of the earth upon the earth, you see? And that's what's ultimately going to happen, man. You see how about Shem Yahushua is about to judge this devil, man, and these heathen nations. And he's going to use the Third World War to do it, right? So, this is ultimately what's coming, brothers and sisters, and we're fastly approaching these times. So that's why, it's important for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians to begin right with Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man, while you have time, you see, and to not be playing around, not to be taking these warnings as a joke that the men of the Lord are giving you, man, because, hey, things are about to get real intense real soon, man. You see, it's only a matter of time. But with that being said, Abaratazai, I pray you brothers and sisters be edified. You see, to the next time, I'm going to say shalom to the elect. Shalom.